Today marks 1 week since an ICE agent shot and killed a woman in her own car in Minneapolis, and it remains a top national story. The Department of Homeland Security says the driver, Renee Good, was trying to run the agent over. The mayor, though, strongly disagrees.
So with cases like these, the investigation into it can really be key here. For every few seconds of video you see, investigators will spend hours analyzing things like body movement and audio. And that's exactly what we wanted to get an idea of here tonight. Take a look.
No! No! Shame!
It's the shocking video that's blown up. We've seen several different angles showing an ICE agent shooting and killing a woman in Minneapolis. And the actions you see in these few seconds have become quite polarizing.
A lot of it might be the result of political opinion, and I would suggest this, that it has to do a little bit with misunderstanding what you're seeing, and you're trying to interpret it with a news report and a 3-second clip. And so errors can be made.
And that's exactly what we're trying to avoid here. In fact, that's why we're meeting with Bruce Champagne.
I remember thinking, oh, here we go again.
Bruce served as a police officer in Utah for 20 years, mainly working violent crimes. And now,
since my retirement, do contract work for attorneys and cities and agencies, examining shootings and uses of force in a little bit more detail.
So with his expert opinion, we look at and document his notes, we roll the tape, and we listen.
Walk me through the decision-making process of something like this.
Generally, for a human to take action, there's a few different steps, and these happen in fractions of a second.
And Bruce listed some of those steps out for us.
You'll begin by observing a stimulus, we call it. In this case, it's this vehicle, possibly the driver. We don't know.
Once you observe the stimulus, you're going to orient to it.
Like in his case, he's adjusting for distance. You can see him adjusting. He's probably processing what's going on here. What is she doing? Kind of thing.
That's when you typically make your decision.
Your brain does that, and it's going to make a decision based on your prior experience, your life experience, any training you have, any education you have, negative and positive outcomes if you've done this before.
So all of those background factors come into play when you're making that decision.
In fractions of a second.
So the officer who pulls out his gun and fires that shot, when do you think that decision was made approximately?
When I broke it down, it looked like it was probably the minute that car started to move forward.
Bruce says both the agent and the driver are going through these steps. He says in high-stress situations, your body has a physical reaction.
That's where our sympathetic nervous system comes in. Your heart rate increases, and your brain will begin to think differently, and you may make errors in judgment. But your brain is going to drive that, and it's going to do what it thinks it needs to do to survive.
And in this situation, those survival instincts had a deadly result. As protesters voiced their contempt for what happened, one big question is, why did the agent stand in front of the car? Bruce says there could be several reasons, but one of them he points to is the principle of automatism. He describes it as a subconscious human movement. Basically, you don't even realize you're moving.
I've interviewed hundreds of police officers, and we talk about that after they're stressful, whether it's a shooting or something else. And very often they have no understanding, or not a correct one, of where they actually were and how they actually moved. It's subconscious.
This is all a fraction of the analysis that goes into this case. But if Bruce were looking into it,
if you were to do a report, as you mentioned, on this case, in summary, what would you say?
Probably that his perception that he was about to be run over or struck with the vehicle is reasonable. And if it's reasonable, that is a potential lethal force threat. So his response would be appropriate if he responded with lethal force too.
Do you think she did have the intent to run him over?
Probably not. At that speed, probably not. She might have had the intent to push him out of the way, with the vehicle.
So she may not have had the intent, but he interpreted it as a threat. And so that's why you think he's justified.
Yeah, because her intent is not necessarily as important here. It's what is his perception.
Bruce works alongside criminal defense attorney Lindsay Jarvis, and she had some thoughts to share on this too. You can find more on our website, abc4.com.